Hello folks, welcome to another video. I've decided to go alone for a couple weeks. Taylor's gonna kick a couple weeks off. So it'll just be me. Just kidding.
Yeah,
we don't take time off. We work 7 days a week, so but that's what we like.
You hijacked my camera.
I know a lot of you folks think I'm pretty lucky to have Taylor, and believe it, I know I am. Just wanted to say that, and also thank you for the well wishes about my eye. It's coming. It's just like looking through a Coke bottle. Other than that, it's fine. But, well, I'm going to turn the reins over to Taylor now, the videographer. I'm just a strong back and a weak mind here. So, okay, here you go.
We're doing one of my least favorite jobs this morning. We have to give a cow a shot. I'm just putting a new needle on my syringe. And we're gonna be giving her some Ludolice, which it turns yellow for some reason when it gets older. It's not supposed to be yellow, it's supposed to be clear. But this is an older one, we've had it for a while. We don't use Ludolice very often, but it doesn't expire until 2027, so it's fine, we'll give her a dose of that. And a dose is gonna be 5 cc's. May have to do her once again later, I'm not really sure. But if you don't know what Ludolice is, basically this just brings a cow into heat. So it's gonna clean her out, so to speak. This cow calved, let me see, she calved 12 days ago. So she cleaned, but I don't think she got all of the afterbirth and fluid out. So some of that is causing a little bit of an infection. So she just got pus coming out of her every once in a while. She holds her tail up a lot. She's just not comfortable. So we're gonna help her clean some of that out by giving her this, which will bring her into heat, and then in turn, that'll clean out most of the junk. If that makes sense. So our vet said not to give it to her. I've heard this many different ways, that it doesn't bother him, and it does bother him, and you shouldn't do it. But our vet has always told us, and we just go by this because he's the vet we've had for years. So he said not to give a cow Ludolice until they're 10 days post-calving. So like I said, she's 12, so we're good to go. So I'm gonna draw her up her dose and then go jab her in the butt. So now that we've got what we need, I always draw up a little more than I actually need. So like I said, I need 5. So I don't know if you guys can see the 5. I've got a little more than 5. So I'm gonna flick the top of it just to get the air bubbles out. And then when I do that, I'm going to spray a little bit out, and then we end up with 5. So I'm gonna put the cap back on that so I don't jab myself. I've done that before. I stuck a needle that I had used to give a cow a shot. I stuck it in my sweatshirt pocket, like a pouch. And then I bent over and jabbed myself in the leg, so don't do that. Here is our patient, and you guys can see what I'm talking about here. You see all this pus right here. That is not good, so we're gonna help her out with that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give her a couple slaps on the butt, and then I'm gonna jab her real quick just to kind of numb that area. You'll love it, I promise. Trigger warning, if you don't like needles, this is your chance to look away. So like I said, slap the butt a couple times, quick jab. Rub it back and forth a couple times just in case you hit anything that might make her bleed. You want to close up that spot. So just rub all different directions. Cow's skin is so thick that if you rub different directions, it'll just close it right up. Just like that. Hopefully we'll start noticing her clearing up in the next week or so, and if she doesn't, we'll give her another dose in a while. Either way, she'll be fine. So now I gotta kick the girls outside so they can enjoy the rest of their day, right? Yeah. I'm sorry. You forgive me? She said no. Nothing like a needle in the backside to wake you up in the morning, huh? This right here is what's so irritating about cows. They've been standing in their own stalls, come on, go, with hay in front of them for the last hour and a half. But now, when you let them out, they go to somebody else's stall with different hay in front of it, because obviously that hay is better, and then they refuse to leave. Even though they also have a bale outside, and they know that because they have a bale outside every time they go outside. Let's go. Come on, it's supposed to be nice today. Let's go. Good girl. Watch your foot. Watch your foot. And now we get to clean up the mess that they made. Yay. Okay, I just remembered you guys hadn't seen the new bull, and he's down in the pasture. So there he is. Not a very good picture of him, but that's Newly, the Normandy bull. And Wes. All right, all clean. I am gonna bed them probably later because I have to get a bite to eat first. I'm gonna run downtown and get a bite to eat. I should also mention, if you are new here, thank you for watching. I'm Taylor and I work on a small dairy farm in Maine with my boss, Brent. It's just him and I, we do all the work. We have 90 cows. We milk in a 72 stall tie-up barn. So they don't stay in here all the time. We have a free stall and pasture, and that's where all of the other cows are right now. So they stay out on pasture pretty much until the end of November, sometimes a little bit earlier. The middle of November we'll bring them in because it'll start to get wet, or the ground will get frozen and it's kind of hard on their feet. And then they'll either stay in here if it's really, really cold, which is not super often. We have a stretch in like February and January where they have to stay in for a couple weeks, and that's usually it. Other than that, they have days where they can go out on the pad and get some fresh air and sunshine, go out in the free stall and just relax out there in the stalls. Or like I said, if it's really particularly cold, we'll leave them in here, and the temperature in here is usually about 40 degrees, so it's much more comfortable for them. So you probably noticed that there's one cow that did not go outside. So if you're new here, this is Prim. If you're not new here, you guys already know Prim. So she's staying in because we cannot actually trust her to go outside and feed herself. So she doesn't really get along with other cows. If somebody pushes her when she's up trying to get feed, she'll just leave. She'll walk away, she'll go lay in a stall, or she'll go out to pasture and she'll just lay there. She won't eat. She's a lover, not a fighter. She'd rather just lay down and starve than actually have to fight for her food. So when the pasture was good, it was fine. So she's been inside for about a month now. When the pasture really started to die down is when we noticed that she was really starting to lose weight. We already knew this about her. The people that we got her from said that she is a hard cow to keep weight on. One of you guys asked if we dewormed her. Yes, we've dewormed her. She gets minerals, she gets grain. She actually gets more grain than everybody else. Don't tell anybody that because they'll be mad. But she has feed in front of her all the time. She is finally starting to put the weight back on from what she lost because she was outside with the other cows. So she's looking much better, but I would still like to see her put on a little bit more weight before winter time. She's one of those cows. The old farmers had a saying that some cows just take their milk right off the hide, and what that means is that anything the cow eats for nutrition goes straight to their milk, and that's exactly how I would describe Prim. She gives a lot of milk and she doesn't really use any of that nutrients. She doesn't keep it for herself, for body condition. So she's just one of those cows. We've had cows like that in the past, that no matter what you do, they just won't get fat. They might look pretty good, but they won't ever get to the point where you're like, yes, they look like perfect body condition. They're always just a little bit on the thin side, and those are usually the cows that give a lot of milk, and I think that's really what they do. They just take it right off their hide, and that's just the way they are. So she requires a little bit more babying than everybody else. She has a very posh and comfy life. She's got her food here in front of her. She's got her water bowl. She gets candy sometimes, don't you? Yes. Nicely bedded stall. Every once in a while we let her go so she can walk around in the barn and choose whatever other stall she wants to be in. She's very babied. I don't think she knows she's a cow. I'm gonna shut that wash off. It's just got a couple more minutes to go before it's done. I'll shut that down. I'm gonna go get a bite to eat, and then I will be right back here and we'll see what we get up to today. Alright guys, so now the real work begins. We are going to be spreading manure today. So we got the International hooked up to the New Holland. Brent's already in the pit getting ready for me to come down. But we found out that this spreader has a whole bunch of net wrap on it. So I'm going to cut that off, or do my best to cut most of that off. I made a mess of it. Be able to just pull it out now, I would think. Here we go. Let's go get loaded. Trouble seeing because of his eye. It's actually supposed to be a beautiful day today. It's supposed to be 50 degrees. The only problem is there are supposed to be like 14-mile-an-hour wind gusts, so I might get a little poopy today, but it's what it is. We got to spread before December, so.
Top quality cow poop.
Someday they will. Yep. By the way, we put the cab back on the Kubota.
Doors.
Somebody gets to be toasty today. Boss man. These two look okay. Obviously I can't see the other two yet, but careful where I walk today because I just realized I have this giant hole in my boot. My boot just ripped like but I'll zoom in on it so you can see it. That little thing right there is gonna come up. And when it comes up, that's how I know my door is open. So this one spreads solid manure pretty good. You can't open the door all the way. The other one, you open the door all the way and you can just spread solid manure like that. It spreads it out even. So, see, I'm so discombobulated here. So I'm gonna start at PTO. Pray that my camera stays right there because it's kind of precariously perched. Stay away from this one.
We just finished for the day. This is what we got accomplished. I wanted to bring you guys down and show you what we did. So we got this whole pile that I had kind of blocked the entrance with spread out. And we got a couple loads out of what we didn't get to spread this spring. We have been chipping into this pile. I say we, Brent has been chipping into this pile a little bit. He's been taking the bottom out of it, since you can see that is pretty aged, up until the top. He's been shaving the top off because you can see that's still hay that needs to break down more, and he's been putting it over here. So he's going to let that break down, and we're going to take everything like this out from the bottom and spread that on the fields that really need it. So he's kind of been just incorporating it into this soupy stuff as we've been going. I think I told you guys completely backwards. I told you I would get my spreaders confused. So this spreader here is the one that I don't usually use. This one is not good at spreading the hard stuff. My spreader is really good at spreading the hard manure. The red one is really good at spreading the liquid. I don't know why I got those mixed up. So yeah, the first two loads went pretty good with that spreader, and then it just started getting really, really hard to spread it out because it was mostly solid manure. And then by like the fifth or sixth load, we got into the more liquidy stuff, and it was doing a fantastic job. But until then, it was taking me forever to spread a load because it would just sit there and spit out a little bit at a time, even though it was wide open. So if we had the yellow spreader going too, it would have been better to do the solid stuff. We'll definitely have to get that going for these piles because that just does a much better job at spreading it out because it has the augers that go different directions. It just kind of breaks it up a lot better. So yeah, altogether it was a good day. The sun came out. It's absolutely perfect day to spread. It's warm. They were wrong about the wind, which I am thankful for because I didn't get a face full of manure today, which is always nice. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Thank you so much for joining me. Keep it real, guys. Keep farming, and I'll see you in the next video.